Hi everyone, welcome to Yoga with Heini. I'm Heini, and this week I'm going to lead you through a short yoga break for opening the side body. So if you ever feel that you're stuck on the sides, then this practice is for you. Let's get started. For this week's practice, I suggest having a block or maybe a stack of books somewhere nearby. You might do the full practice without any props, but just in case you want to lean your hand onto something, it's maybe good to have some kind of a block, or it could be even a box that you can lean onto. That said, let's get started, and we're going to start our practice on all fours today. So when you are ready, bring yourself onto hands and knees. So this practice is for those days, those weeks, those moments when you feel that the side body is a bit stuck. In our everyday life, we don't do a lot of movements that kind of open the sides, so that's why we have our yoga practice for that. And bring your hands kind of roughly under your shoulders, knees roughly under your hips, and you can choose if you keep your toes relaxed or if you want to tuck the toes under. And the first movement we do is cat looking to the tail. So now we're going to first open the left side body, so start to turn your tail towards the right and look over your right shoulder. So you're kind of trying to bring the right hip, your right shoulder a bit closer to each other, looking to the right hip. Same to the other side. So come back to center and then turn your tail, the pelvis a bit more to left. Look over the left shoulder towards the left hip. So now you bring the left shoulder, left hip closer to each other, opening the right side. And again, release back to center. And now let's do that together with the breath. Inhale in the center. Exhale. Look over the right shoulder. Inhale, stay there. Send the breath to your left side. And exhale, release back to the center. Inhale. And as you exhale now, look over the left shoulder towards the left hip. Inhale there, breathe towards the right side. And exhale back to the center. Same once more. To the right, exhale. Look over right shoulder, look towards the right hip. Inhale there. And exhale, release back to center. Inhale. Exhale, look over left shoulder, bring left shoulder, left hip closer together. Inhale towards the right side. And exhale, come back to the center. And then lean into child's pose. So you get the weight off the hands, off the wrists. You can adjust the legs. Now, bring your chest just slightly off the mat. And then slide your left arm under the right arm into twisted child's pose. And you can either leave the right arm overhead, maybe lift the right hand onto fingertips, or you could also bring the right arm behind the back. You choose which one gives you a nicer opening through the sides. Now you might feel this along the left side body. You might feel this also along the right side body. Breathe towards the ribs. Let the breath open the side bodies as well. One more breath in and out. And then exhale, step the right hand back onto the mat. And inhale, come to the center, bring left hand down. And then slide your right arm under the left arm into that twisted child's pose on the other side. And let your head lean down. Now, same options here. You can either extend left arm overhead, maybe just the fingertips on the mat. Or you can also wrap the left arm behind the back. But we have the intention of opening the chest out to the left. And again, it could be felt on the right or left side. So it could be opening to each side of the body. Maybe one, maybe two at the same time. And breathe towards the ribs. Take one more breath in and out. And then slowly bring the left hand back onto the mat. Come up onto both hands. And then walk yourself back onto all fours. Now we'll do a few cat-cows here. So as you exhale, round your spine. Let the head move. Inhale, open the chest into a cow pose. And again, exhale, round the spine. Bring head down, tuck the tail under. And inhale, open the chest. Once more, exhale into cat pose, round the spine. Let the head drop down. And inhale into the back bending cow pose. Open the chest. And then bring your spine back to neutral. And we're going to take the cat looking to its tail a bit further. Now extend your left leg behind you. You might need to bring the right knee a bit more to the center. And then cross the left foot, the left leg to the right side of the mat. Inhale. And as you exhale, look over the right shoulder towards that left foot. Now in this pose, you could move, kind of rock forward and back a bit. Trying to find sensations along the left side body. If needed, you might step hands closer to that right side of the mat as well. I'm just looking for a place where you feel there is an opening along the left side body. Maybe rotating a bit towards the right. Take another breath or two in and out here. Don't feel that you need to fix yourself into one shape. And then we're going to slowly release the pose. Bring the leg, the arms back to center. Bring the left knee down. Rock a bit from side to side. And we'll do the same to the other side. So now, maybe step the left knee closer to center. Extend the right leg behind you. And then step the right foot towards the left side of the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Look towards that tail. Look towards the right foot. And again, you could start to move there. Looking for a place where you feel there's maybe a gentle stretch opening along the right side body. Maybe you want to walk hands a bit towards the left side of the mat as well. It's an opening from that right leg all the way into that right shoulder. Make sure the neck is not too tense. If looking to the foot starts to tense the neck, they can release the head. Take another breath in and out. And then again, we're going to slowly release, bring everything back to the center. Bring both knees down, and then for a moment, come sitting on the shins. Release the weight of the hands off your arms. You can roll the shoulders. Take a few breaths in and out. Just try to feel those two sides of your body, how they feel now. And remember, the left or right side might feel quite different. We are not symmetrical. Then from this seat, with the next few breaths, we're going to come into a low lunge and a side bend in that low lunge. And this is where the block would be quite handy. So I suggest now bringing your block, your books, your box on the right side of the mat. And then lift yourself onto your knees and now step your right foot in front of you. And we start to move into a lunge from here. Oops, I feel a bit wobbly. So find your balance, and then you can start to lean the pelvis a bit further down. So coming into a bit lower lunge. And now from here, we're going to step right hand onto the block, or lean the right hand onto your books, your box, so that the right hand is about in the next same level as your hips. And from there, as you inhale, lengthen your left arm up, and exhale, lean into a side bend towards that right hand. You could bring your hand all the way down to the floor as well if you want. I think for many of us, the floor is just a bit too far away. So don't force yourself to lean all the way down. It's really handy to have the hand on the block. Take another breath or two in and out here. So now it's opening the left side body. You might feel this around your left hip as well. And then as you exhale, lean forward. Bring your hands onto the mat. You can put your block aside. And from here, we're going to come into what I call the mermaid pose. I'm going to leave my left hand under left shoulder. And I'll walk the right foot all the way out to the side so that I could leave my left leg extended, but we turn sideways. So now I just have the outside of the left leg, the outer edge of the left foot on the floor. And you can adjust where the left hand is. So we're trying to find an opening for the left side body, the lower side of the body here. You don't need to keep the right foot on the mat. You can also close that right hip. For some people, that works better. But don't lose control in your left shoulder. Keep pressing down through the left shoulder. That might also make the pose more intense. If you want this to be even more intense, you could put a block under the left hand, so you would elevate yourself away from the mat. But for me, that would be too much. So I'm going to keep my hand on the mat. We're going to take another couple of breaths in and out. And keep sending your breaths to that left side body. Good. Now from here, we're going to slowly find our way back onto two hands, back onto hands and knees, and go straight into gate pose on the other side. So keep now your right knee on the mat. Step right hand a bit further forward, and then turn your pelvis, your chest now to the other side, and then reach the left arm up and close to the head. So now we're opening once more the left side body that we've been opening with those previous poses as well. So now the left leg stays long. You don't need to keep your left arm straight. You can also bend the arm. But opening from that left elbow all the way across the torso down to that left leg. You might slightly rotate the chest up as well. Take another breath or two in and out. You can breathe towards that left side body. And then let's exhale to release, to bring both hands down. Ooh, that feels quite intense in the left side now. And you can choose to either come into child's pose and rest in child's pose. Or if you prefer, you can also come into a seat and take a moment just resting in a seated pose, whichever feels like a more restful place for you now. We just did some quite big openings along the left side, so let the body rest a few breaths here. You can roll the shoulders, move the head. And then let's do all of this to the other side. So again, you could, if you're in a seat, you could come onto your knees, or from child's pose, you could come onto all fours. We're going to do that lunge. So now if you used a block, reach for your block and bring it to your left side so that you could then step your right foot. We're going to step the left foot forward, of course. We need to go to the other side. My apologies for that. So that we could come into the low lunge on the other side. So now, when you have your left foot in front, right leg behind, lean the pelvis just a bit forward so that you maybe already here start to feel something along the right side. And then lean left hand either on the floor or onto your block on the left side. Again, keep the left hand about in the same level with your left hip. And then we're going to reach the right arm up and start to bend over to the left side towards that left hand to open the right side body more. And again, those sensations could go all the way down towards the hips. The lower body is involved here as well. You could lean head towards that left shoulder, or you could also turn your gaze down towards the floor. Take another breath or two in and out, breathing towards that right side. And then slowly again, lean forward. Release your hands in front of you onto the mat, onto the floor. And we're going to travel to that mermaid pose on the other side. So now leave right hand under right shoulder. Start to turn towards the long side of the mat. So you let the whole right leg turn. My toes are pointing towards the side of the mat. I'm leaning the outer edge of my right leg onto the mat and just walking the left foot down out to the side so that I can now keep my right hand, right hip, right leg all along the same line and press down through that right arm, right shoulder, to find stretch opening along the right side body. And again, left knee doesn't need to point up. You can also close that left hip. And make sure you keep that right shoulder active so you're not collapsed in the shoulder. Or you have that more intense option to bring a block under the right hand if you want. Take another couple of breaths in and out. If you have tension around the QL muscle, this might be really quite nice and intense around that area. And then when you're ready to release, slowly start to turn down towards the mat. Bring hands down, bring knees down. And we have the gate pose on this side. So now leave left knee down, leave left hand under left shoulder, and then turn towards the other long side of the mat. So right leg extended, open the fronts of the hips. So again, everything's kind of along the same line. And from there, lengthen the right arm once more over the head, next to the head. You could look down to the floor if that feels better. And breathe. So now the opening comes from the right armpit all the way down to the right side, maybe to the right hip, down to the right leg. And again, you have the option to open the chest a bit. Right arm doesn't need to be straight. Breathe. Keep tops of the shoulders soft. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly, again, close the chest, bring hands down, turn onto all fours, and then we're just going to move a bit on all fours. Start to maybe rock the hips from side to side, shake the head a bit. You do a few circles from knees to hands, hands to knees. And then from all fours, we're going to make our way into a twist. So now, walk your knees to the right side of your mat so that you can sit down onto your left hip. Then come lie down on the left side and leave your legs there on the side of the mat. As you inhale, open the chest up towards the ceiling, reclining open twist. You're very welcome to then adjust the legs. Maybe you want to straighten one leg more than the other. You can adjust that right arm. It could be like a cactus shape, or maybe you want to extend that right arm out to the side, or you might also extend that right arm closer to the head. All of these might change sensations along the right side body. So now we're opening more along the right side body. It's the last opening for the right side. You might feel this all the way down on the outside of the hip, the right hip. Maybe the right thigh. Let this be a bit more relaxed. There's no weight bearing on hands or legs here. So now let everything soften. Let the breaths move down and up along your spine, along both sides of the spine. Softening with each breath out. Let's take one more breath in and out. Maybe a bit bigger breath in. You could sigh the breath out. And then slowly from your twist, slide onto your back. Adjust where the pelvis is. You can adjust where the legs are. Breathe in and out in the center. And then we're going to go to the other side. So let's do the twist to the other side. so that it would be similar as we did on the first side. First, roll all the way down onto the right side. You can bend both knees. And then leave the legs and start to open the chest up towards the ceiling. You can open the left shoulder, left arm. Again, you might extend one leg more than the other if you want. And remember, the sensations might still be very different on the second side. So don't necessarily look for the same sensation. Just look for a sensation. If there's pain, of course, then take a step back. Don't push through the pain. Just find a manageable, enjoyable level, enjoyable edge in the pose. Edge where you can breathe. You can send the breaths down and up along the spine, along both sides of the body. Let's take another breath in and out. Again, you could take a slightly bigger breath in and then sigh the breath out. And slowly, slowly start to release the twist. Slide onto your back once more. And then let yourself find a brief resting pose, Shavasana pose. If you want, you can extend the legs, or you might keep the knees bent. For a moment, come into a pose that seems symmetrical. We might still feel very asymmetrical. We are still asymmetrical. Let's just pause here for a moment in a resting pose to observe how the two sides of the body feel now. Can you feel one side more than the other? Maybe one side feels heavier than the other. That's all okay. Just make observations. No judgment here. Let's take another 5 to 10 breaths in this resting pose. Or you might decide you want to stay longer. That is very, very fine. Maybe you want to spend another 5 to 10 minutes in your resting pose. I suggest taking as long time as you have and as long time as you need today. Just notice where you feel the practice now in your body. Take a few more breaths in and out. And maybe a few slightly deeper breaths. And if you want to stay longer in your Shavasana pose, just stay there. Or if you feel that you'd be now ready to slowly close the practice, You could move the fingers, you could move the toes. Maybe open your eyes if you had your eyes closed. If you want, you could reach arms over the head and maybe just do a couple of side bends there. Kind of wiggle from side to side. Reach the sides long. And then roll to one side, either left or the right side, to bring yourself up into a seat, into your final seat. Give yourself a few more breaths here to close the practice. And if it's your part of your practice, if it's in your practice, you can bring your palms together in front of the chest. And as always, at the end of the practice, thank yourself for taking this time to check in with your body, to move, to breathe. And I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing your practice. Namaste. Thank you. Good. Thank you for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the practice and I hope you can feel the sides of your body now. If you like the practice, please give the video a thumbs up before you go and also subscribe to the channel. There will be loads more yoga related videos and free classes coming up. Thank you again and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.